Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. We are so happy to share things that are working for us because most of us have been struggling with who knows what, all this metabolic dysfunction with maybe, not being able to lose weight. We do everything right. Um, Nothing seems to work. We're eating right, we're exercising, and still nothing's working. And we're on here today to tell you that it's not your fault. And I have some special guests here this evening. We've got Sarah and
Hey.
Shirasha are going to be
Hello.
joining us. You made it just in time.
Yay.
So you rushed in. We're going to be very casual here tonight, just sharing with you something that we have found that has totally changed our lives. And people sometimes say, I'm doing all these things right, but nothing's working. And we have our food environment's not on our side. Everything we're eating nowadays are processed. Everything is modified and it's causing problems in our lives, in our health. And, you know, most of you have probably never heard of these two things, but we're going to talk about them because these are two tools that we found that have changed our lives, my life as well. I'm going to share with you some before and afters of myself, and then you're going to hear from these amazing young ladies who just got started. But first of all, let me share my screen a little bit here. I'm going to share something with you that's affecting 93% of our American adults, and that is metabolic dysfunction. And take a moment just to look at some of these symptoms on here. It could be high blood pressure, could be heart disease, belly fat, brain fog. I mean, take a moment to look at this and see if there's anything that you can identify with. And think about that for a minute and think how many, maybe one, two, three. I looked at this when I first heard about this and I went, I've got several of these that I've been battling with over the years. And these gals are younger than me. They probably haven't got all these, but they've got some of them. You're going to hear about it in a minute. But just take a look at that and really think about it. And we've got something here, these two packets that can help resolve these issues without having to go on a diet or count calories. That's going to change everything. Why we get these conditions, the belly fat, the constant food noise, is because our insulin is always elevated. It's called insulin resistance. I didn't even know what that was till I was informed about this. But what happens is when our insulin is constantly elevated from snacking all the time and eating all the time, we get sick, we get damage that happens to our body. And these two packages here we're going to teach you about are going to reverse that damage by not having elevated blood sugar all the time. And it's going to give us relief, give us fat burning powers that we've never had before, and give us some major relief from the things that are affecting us that are making us not feel good, the damage that's been done. And today's going to be really casual. I just wanted to kind of introduce you to these ladies. First, we're going to introduce Sarah. um, but before I bring on the picture, I want to introduce you first of all properly. Sarah, why don't you introduce yourself, tell everybody where you're from, and then we'll get into what's happened with you since you started these two packets. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I am Sarah Murphy, formerly Sarah Yenny. I am from Grable, Wyoming, but I moved to Havre, Montana in 2013 when I met my best friend in 2014. She's so cool. And yeah, I had two babies recently within the last 3 years, so that's kind of taken a toll on my body. And
That'll do it.
yep. I've struggled with the belly fat and the high blood pressure and just been kind of trying to find my way back from all of that. And I have a whole list actually of things that have been improving since I've been taking this product and doing the protocol. Um,
Before we get to that though, I wanted to ask you a question. You had what are the things that you've been struggling with, first of all,
uh,
before you found this?
okay. Yeah, I had about 7 or 8 things on that list there. I had brain fog and inflammation, high blood pressure, belly fat, the constant cravings, the sugar cravings, food cravings. How many is that? What am I missing? There was about 7 or 8 on that list that I had, and I was like, yeah, I got about 8 of these. So, Mine as well. Yeah. So Vicky is the one that introduced me to it.
Hi, Vicky.
Hi.
Is she on there? All right.
Technical difficulties. Yep, I'm on.
Nice.
So, so Vicky shared these two packets with you. First of all, before we talk about what's happened to you, let me tell you what this packet does. This is amazing. I'm sipping one of these right now. This gets rid of all the food noise. We've all got that. I'm an habitual snacker, so this gets rid of the food noise. What else it does, though, it gives you more energy. It gives you stamina. It's a feel good. One of the biggest things, though, is a lot of people right now that we hear about on the news everywhere all the time are getting on these GLP-1 shots, and they have a lot of bad side effects. This here alone will increase your GLP-1 that you naturally already produce in your body by 67%. So this is something that's quite amazing. So that's one thing. And then we take this before we eat, and it gets rid of, it blocks the carbohydrate absorption, it lowers your blood sugar by like 43%. So I wanted to bring that up first because Sarah here told like 5 or 6 different things that she was struggling with. And thank you, Vicky, for sharing this with a friend because you're changing her life. And Sarah, tell us what your day looks like taking this and what's happened with you since you got started and how soon, like how long ago was it that you got started? It's not been that long.
I was kind of taking it off and on while I was pregnant, but I wasn't really serious about it until 2 weeks ago. I think it's been a solid 2 weeks and one day now. And my day just looks like skipping breakfast because I don't need that anyway. I was eating too much breakfast, feeding my children. And so I wake up and mix the first una mate, put a little lemon juice in it. Tastes real good that way. So I'll drink that one, and then I'll have a second one before I break my fast, and I'll just have a little bit of lunch, and then kind of just go about the day and do the things I need to do. And before dinner, I'll drink the Bounce packet, and that just kind of makes you feel full, so you don't really need to eat too much dinner. Cut back on the eating so much and the sugar cravings. Haven't noticed any sugar cravings really. I'm like kind of disgusted that I have like a jar of chocolate balls like Easter eggs in the
Yeah,
cupboard right now. I'm like, I don't even want that.
you're not munching on them.
No, exactly. Which is good.
So have you
Uh,
been dieting since you got on this? Have you dieted or just no?
no specific diet really. Just
Okay.
kind of I got like some protein drinks. I actually cooked up like a bunch of steak earlier, and I'll just kind of like pick on that for the next few days. I was thinking about having like a steak salad tonight. Sounds pretty good. So, yeah, you know,
So you're breaking your fast and you're doing good protein.
yeah, yeah.
That's the way to do it. So what's happened with you since you got started?
So we're 2 weeks in, and I've got like a whole list here of things. I feel less bloated. I am down 5 pounds. My blood pressure is normal, as you will see in those pictures there.
I'm going to share it right now.
That's
There you go.
like scary. That's scary right there.
So this,
163 or
you were at
105.
163. How long ago was that? That was a couple weeks ago, or when was
That
this?
that was about 2, 3 weeks before I started the protocol. And I mean, it's just been all over the place for about 3, 4 years now. So,
That's incredible.
but yeah, I've continued to check it. And like this morning, it was like 128 over 80. So it's good. A couple other things. I'm off my blood pressure pill. I took myself off of that. So I'm doing good there. Regulated digestion, no more constipation, because that was a huge problem with my pregnancies and after. And then week 2, less sugar cravings, the less inflammation, no headaches, sleeping better. I noticed my hands and my lips feel smoother, like my skin is hydrated. I know it's a weird thing, but I was like laying in bed one night and I was like, my fingers feel real smooth.
No, I've had a lot of people talk about their skin.
Yeah, yeah,
So you said your lips too? Is it like dryness or what's happening
yeah.
on your lips?
Oh, I have very bad chapped lips, but I haven't been using chapstick the last couple weeks, and they just feel like they're more hydrated, not all dried out and gross.
Are you
I
getting
think
more kisses from your husband?
actually no, he's had the man flu for like the last 5 days, and I'm like, stay away from me. But the big one for me is the inflammation, I think, right now, because I was having really bad sciatic pain from my pregnancies, and that was kind of a issue that I dealt with before too. So um, I was going on like 3 weeks straight of just like limping around and just not, I didn't know what to do. Like I was to a point where I was like, do I need to talk to somebody about like a surgery? Because in my family, we get like bone spurs really bad. So
Yeah,
my dad and my grandma, they've all had all sorts of surgeries to go in and grind down like the extra bone deposit and stuff that's touching on nerves. And in the last 2 weeks, it's cleared up. I can walk. I got out of bed the other day and I like winced and I was like, oh, it doesn't hurt. Oh, wow. Like, that's crazy. So yeah,
that's
I'm enjoying it, feeling better. So feel lighter on my feet. It's a whole lot,
that's a
like
whole lot.
yeah,
That's a whole lot.
that's a
Just
whole
saying.
lot for 2 weeks. But when you start out with 8 of those symptoms, like you're bound to see some changes. So yeah, it's great.
Well, well, thank you
Exciting.
for sharing. And I was going to say, for people watching here, this is not some kind of miracle of any kind. What we're doing with these 2 packets here, it's giving your body the tools it needs to get some metabolic healing, gut health healing. A lot of times what happens in our gut happens here. And if our gut health is in good shape, guess what? Everything else can look after. Our bodies are miraculous at looking after themselves if we give it the right tools. And it's like I said earlier, our food environment is horrible. Everything's processed and modified. We're not getting enough fiber. That's what this does here. And this one here, I'm glad you mentioned this. This really helps with inflammation. This comes from the mate plant from South America. And what this company did is they purified it. They took the best components out of it. And you just sip on this. I sip 2 or 3 of these a day. Just take them when you're not eating, and it's going to lower your blood sugar levels. It's going to keep you level. It's going to get rid of the inflammation. It's going to get rid of all the food noise. It's like you said, you're not craving. You got stuff that you're not digging into that you used to dig into all the time.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's something when you give your body a break from eating all the time, your body gets a time to heal. So that's really incredible. Thank you for sharing. And I might I might come back to you. Just give me a moment. So thanks for sharing that. So let me go on here. I'm not going to share. I don't have a picture of what happened with you,
Your hand.
um,
Oh yeah.
Sharisha. So why don't you tell everybody who you are? We'll start with that, and then um, we'll go from there. She rushed
Okay.
in. She just got off work or something. She just came in.
I was at a funeral actually, but yeah.
No.
But I'm Sharasha Campanella. I'm born and raised in Havre, Montana. Moved away a little bit, but have always been here. I've struggled with quite a few things on the list as well, and I think I've been taking this for like a week, like about a week, little over a
I think
week,
she
couple
started
days.
like 5 days after I did.
You're a
Yeah,
newbie.
yeah. But the amount of changes in a week that I've already seen are just exponential. Like it's just crazy the amount of stuff that I've been experiencing since I've been drinking this. Just the less sugar and the not craving of anything. And my hand is starting to heal up. Today it kind of went a little bit downhill because the weather dropped and it tends to fluctuate, but it's not hurting, which is the main thing. And it's helping my hand heal up from my eczema. I used to have to take Tylenol every single day. I would take 1,000 milligrams of Tylenol at least once a day, sometimes twice, just depending on the headaches. Now I'm not having to take any ibuprofen. I haven't had to take any in this last week, pretty much. I used to drink anywhere from 4 to 6 Pepsis a day, and I know that is
Oh,
horrible.
that's
And
a
I
lot.
know horrible, horrible. But once you get hooked on it, it is so hard to break the habit. And now I've had Pepsis in my fridge that I don't even crave. I have not had a Pepsi in a week, and it just is mind blowing to go that that used to be my go-to drink, and I'm not even craving it or wanting it anymore. So it's just mind boggling. But yeah, I don't know. I feel lighter, like Sarah was saying. I'm feeling less inflammation in my muscles, my legs. I have really bad restless legs at night, and it's been kind of helping with that. I haven't noticed that been happening this last week. My appetite's been a lot better. I'm not craving food 24/7 because I'm bored or just sitting around. I'm a habitual eater who just likes to sit and watch TV and snack every now and then and
Yeah.
don't have those urges anymore. So that's great. And yeah, it's been kind of nice to not have everything in my life to do with food all the time because that's kind of what it was kind of feeling like for a while there. I'm down, I think, 3.5 or 4 pounds in this last week. And
Wow.
yeah, I have so much more energy and I don't get the caffeine headaches is the main thing for me. Like it's just mind blowing to go from having those every day to not having them at all. It's just
Okay, so
awesome.
what does your day look like? What do you do during the day? How do you use the protocol?
I'm real similar to Sarah. We pretty much do the exact same thing. So I get up in the morning and brush my teeth. First thing I do is I sip on my unamate or whatever you say, however you say it throughout the day. And then by about lunchtime, I'll usually start my second one and maybe have a little lunch. It's usually all protein or some fruit. It's very light. And then dinner time, right before dinner, I'll drink that balance one. And then I don't need as much for dinner anymore. So that's also been helpful. And I feel fuller longer. So like I ate about an hour ago and I still feel like almost too full right now. Like if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. That's actually what this does. This is going to keep you satiated. This is like 7 different fibers. Most of us have never gotten that much fiber. We probably have to eat a wheelbarrow of vegetables to get the fiber that's in this. It's 7 different fibers, both soluble and insoluble, and they keep you satiated. So if you sit down to eat something like you guys have said, you can't eat as much for one, and it's going to keep your insulin levels. So you're not spiking and crashing and spiking and crashing. And that's both of you have mentioned your energy levels and everything. Makes a huge difference. Usually when we have that crash after you eat something is because our insulin is still high. We have a crash because of the glucose, the sugar, and when we crash, we feel like we want to lay down and then we get the munchies. So this prevents that. So that is just totally amazing. Did you mention the other day when we were talking, when I first met you, you said something about your feet?
Oh yeah. Well, I also struggle with the same thing with my skin on my eczema on my feet where they'll crack really bad. And especially when it gets real cold out. And actually my feet are not in any pain at all. My skin is not cracked on the sides. Uh, I don't really have any bad pictures of it from beforehand because the weather hasn't been awful here, but like with it dropping down to like 15 degrees, usually my skin would be cracking at the sides and would be so dry that it was just horrible. I'd be playing catch up for the next week trying to get it to go back to normal. And I haven't had to use lotion at all this week and my skin doesn't itch and it doesn't hurt. So that's just crazy as well.
That
Yeah.
makes me
I,
very happy.
I didn't think about the feet either until the other day when we were talking about it. But like 3, 4 weeks ago, I was in the shower and I was like, oh my gosh, my feet are so dry and cracked. Like it was horrible. And I was like, what the heck? Like they've just gotten so bad out of nowhere. And then, yeah, just like when we were talking about it the other day, as soon as we were off that phone call, I took my sock off and I was like, it's like all smooth. Like there's no dry skin. Like that's wild. And I mean, I don't take care. I don't have time to take care of my feet all the time. So it's like,
Yeah, who does, right?
oh, yeah. So I'm just like, wow. All right. I was just like complaining to myself in the shower 3 weeks ago, and now it's just like, fine. There's nothing. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
No,
know, that's why we're doing this because people need to hear your stories. You have some things that have happened just in the last few weeks, under a month, that are just, it's remarkable. But again, it's what you give your body the right stuff, it can do amazing things. And this is not a weight loss protocol, though you heard that you guys are dropping pounds. I mean, you dropped 4 pounds. How many pounds have you dropped?
5, 6.
Okay, so that's just a good side effect of, when you're giving your body rest from food, you're not hangry all the time, and you're keeping your blood sugar down because what happens when you do that, your body can burn fat for fuel.
oh, now that she mentions that, we suffered from that so bad.
My husband
What
should.
what was that? Tell me.
Well, we all get hangry. Man,
We
we were the
get hangry
worst.
real bad. And this last week, we have not been hangry at all. Like, that's another thing. You didn't even think about that
Yeah.
until you think about it. Like,
I know.
Man,
My
that's
husband should be very
crazy.
thankful that I'm not hangry anymore.
Well, I'm glad you're sharing that. I bet you there's a lot of people that are going through the same thing as
Yeah.
all of us have been struggling with. And you're younger. We've been struggling. You're lucky you're fighting this now. We've been struggling this for a lot longer years than
Long
you.
time.
Anyways, Vicky, you're here too. I just wanted to introduce Vicky as well. You know, she introduced Sarah, and Sarah, you shared, right? So that this is kind of a chain reaction happening here. But Vicky, you started this there in this little town in Montana. So why don't you tell everybody about you?
Oh, sorry, it took me a little bit to get on. No technical difficulties on my end, but you know what? It all worked out. So, Vicky
It did.
Lowen, Haver, Montana, and I'm happy to be here. And I'm happy to be here with these two young ladies who I'm very proud of because Sarah reached out to me and asked. I've known her from another company where we're both in, and she reached out to me and asked me what I was doing. I shared with her, like she said, she'd started on the protocol and was off and on with it, had a baby. And here just recently, I saw she ordered again. So I reached out to her and connected with her. And next thing I know, she wanted to know how she can do this a little bit more and how she can start sharing it with people. So I got involved. It will be a year ago, April 24th is when I actually started on this protocol. I had been through some major ups and downs in my life. I lost my mom in September of 21, and then 10 months later, I didn't realize I'd be losing the love of my life, my husband, to a motorcycle accident in July of 22. That was devastating for me, and it took its toll on me. It took mentally, physically, emotionally, everything. And so I put on a lot of weight, and everybody said, "Oh, you'll lose weight." Well, Vicky didn't lose weight. Vicky gained weight. I was at probably, this was a year that this was the one in the black was in July of 24. And then, but in July of 20 or May of 23, I was even heavier than that. And like I said in the picture, yeah, that's when in May of 23. So not even a year after I lost him, I had just blew up and just was so inflamed, heavy, unhappy. And had no purpose. I had no purpose. I didn't know where my life was going and what I was going to do, even though I was working with a grief therapist. And this protocol, like I said, I saw an acquaintance on Facebook who had never been in contact with other than meeting her at an event years, like probably 15 years ago. And just must have been meant to be because I saw her post and I reached out to her, asked her what she was doing, and she shared this with me. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know I had insulin resistance. I knew I was pre-diabetic, had had that for some time, and she introduced me to Monica, and so I got started, talked to both of them, and I felt, this is something I need to do for me. I need to start feeling better, and if this is going to give me the hope that I need again, I'm going to go for it. I don't have nothing to lose with it. It has a 90-day money back guarantee, and I thought if I don't like it, then I'll get my money back. So I
Exactly.
started at April 24th. I did the study. The company was doing an A1C study, and I started on that. And they sent me the kit. Did the A1C study in 90 days. After doing the protocol for the 90 days, I was definitely not going to get my money back. I had lost 16 and a half pounds. My
Look at you.
A1C went from my A1C went from 5.8 to 5.3 in 90 days, and down 16 and a half pounds and 9.5 inches. So I take and go get more labs done because I had labs done in January with my nurse practitioner for my yearly. And I go, I'm getting labs. I didn't have to have labs done, but I wanted labs done because I wanted her to see my results of improvement because I was sure I had improvement. So I took and had labs done on my own. I took them to her, and she walked in the room. She looks at me and kind of grins, and she asked me what I was doing or what I'd been doing because she could tell I'd lost some weight.
Yeah.
I handed her my labs, and she looked at them. She looked at me, and she said, "Vicky, this is the best your labs have ever looked, and this is the best you've ever looked. I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing what you're doing."
That's phenomenal.
So I was so excited, and like I said, and I felt so good. Well, I thought I was feeling good. I mean, I felt good then, and I just naturally, like we said, it's not a weight loss. That's just a bonus. But my overall all well-being, I have energy again. I used to take naps in the afternoon. Don't even think about that. Get up early in the morning. I have a kitty that wakes me up early in the morning, and thinking sometimes, gee, I wish I could take a nap, or maybe I'm thinking I'll need a nap. I don't have to worry about it. I have so much energy drinking this, and it just gives me a whole different perspective. I have, like I said, I have my health back. I have a purpose again, and my mission is to help other people get off of medications and just be healthy again and not rely on a band-aid fix. And we're getting to the root cause of our problems here, of our health issues, because I had health issues that weren't being taken care of naturally, and I'm a natural person, and it's just been remarkable. Like I said, I'm a lifer, so.
I hear you. Me too. I just wanted to say something. You've started a movement in your area, and these gals here, I'm telling you right now, this is the easiest thing you'll ever have to do. You've heard it. You just drink this when you're not eating, and you take this before you eat your biggest meal, and it covers all areas of what you need to get done. But aren't you guys starting a challenge for summer? People want to get their bodies in shape for summer without having to count calories, without dieting. You're starting something. Can you share with everybody what you guys are going to be doing here in the next little bit?
We're going to be starting next week. We were thinking about this week, but with Easter week coming up, there's too many things going on. So next week we're going to have an open house and invite people to come and learn about what we're doing to better our health and help others do the same thing. And so we're looking at doing a summer challenge and having a contest and have people come and join us and get going with us. And we'll do a challenge and give prizes away and help others feel good again and be ready for summer. Because who doesn't want to be ready for summer and get some of this little fluff off if you don't have,
I know. And the summer comes so fast when it's here, and you go, oh, I wish I would have started earlier. So you guys are doing a great movement there in your area. The prizes are going to be phenomenal. We're going to give away money stuff too. So get in touch with these ladies. If you want to, you just heard what this protocol has done in just a few weeks. This works for old people and young people. It works for everybody. We have kids as young as 9 years old.
And you know what? I don't feel old. I feel younger. I feel probably 20 years younger. And my son is on this. And he even said he's 51 years old. And he said he feels like he's in his 20s and 30s again.
Awesome.
Because he's down 45 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, ladies, if there's something you tell the audience if there's something you'd want to share with the audience to help them understand how simple it is, what would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
You put the packet in the water and you drink it. It's really just that simple.
The hardest part is just actually getting the courage to want to try to do something different. But I guarantee if you do it, you won't turn back.
Hello. 90-day money back guarantee. That's why it's
There
there.
you go.
Do it for 90 days.
Give us 90 days of your life. What are you doing with them?
Yeah.
Let us
I
have
love
them
it.
for 90 days.
And what I
Awesome.
say is follow the protocol. Listen to what we tell you. We're here to help you. We're here to coach you. You're not doing this alone, and no question is a dumb question.
Right on. So ladies, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. We had to share this. If you have questions about the protocol, these are the ladies you need to talk to. They're right in front of you. You know them. So thank you very much. This evening was wonderful. And we'll do another one of these and get the information for that summer challenge they're doing. I think I might just come out to Montana. Check it
Sounds
out.
like a plan. We'd love to have you.
Well, I'd love to be there too. So thank you very much for being there this evening. Let me just